In 1981, a tragic incident at Six Flags Rolling Thunder roller coaster claimed the life of 20-year-old park employee Scott Tyler. During a test ride, Scott didn't secure his lap bar. As the coaster sped up to 35 miles per hour, Scott was thrown out during a high-speed turn. Amusement park accidents can happen even with strict safety rules and regular checks. Rides are built with lots of safety features and workers are well trained, but sometimes human mistakes, mechanical problems, or unexpected events still lead to terrifying accidents. From deadly falls to ride breakdowns, these tragedies remind us of the dangers hidden behind the fun and excitement. In this video, we'll look at 25 of the most horrifying amusement park accidents ever. Let's begin. Number 1. Terminal Velocity Ride Accident at Wisconsin Dells. Tegan Marty, a brave 12-year-old from Florida, saw the Terminal Velocity Ride at Wisconsin Dells on TV and convinced her family to check it out. Excited and ready for adventure, Tegan and her family traveled to the park. As she stood in line, her mother recognized the ride operator from the show and felt a bit reassured. During her ride, something went horribly wrong. Tegan was dropped from 100 feet without the safety net in place. 100 feet. She plummeted to the ground and suffered severe injuries, including spinal fractures and brain swelling. Her mother rushed to her side with the worst fear. Tegan was flown to American Family Children's Hospital in Madison, where doctors said she might never walk again. Despite these grim predictions, Tegan's spirit shone through.
Velocity apparently neglected safety protocols. The owner of Extreme World is defending his facility's safety record.
Over time, with relentless physical therapy, she began to walk again, using only a walker for support. She even returned to Wisconsin to promote a hospital expansion that could help others like her. Number 2. Verrückt Water Slide Accident at Schlitterbahn Water Park. It was the world's tallest water slide, 17 stories high, taller than the Statue of Liberty. Named Verrückt, this thrill ride ended in a horrific tragedy in 2016. Ten-year-old Caleb Schwab was decapitated on the ride that led to serious criminal charges. The designers of Verrückt and the construction company behind it faced 18 counts, including reckless second-degree murder. Jeffrey Wayne Henry, John Schooley, and Henry & Sons Construction Company were also charged for injuring 13 others, including 4 children. Tyler Austin Miles, a former Schlitterbahn director and the water park itself, faced 20 counts, including involuntary manslaughter. Shockingly, the indictment revealed the ride was dangerously flawed from the start. Despite knowing the risks, Henry opened the ride, ignoring numerous safety warnings. Employees reported brake failures 29 times, yet nothing was done. Nathan Campbell, a lifeguard, recalled testing the ride and experiencing brake failures. Brittany Hawkins, another visitor, narrowly escaped injury when her seatbelt came loose mid-ride. Number 3. Fireball Ride Accident at the Ohio State Fair.
A malfunction in an amusement ride at the Ohio State Fair sent riders flying through the air on Wednesday, killing 1 and injuring 7.
On July 26th, the Fireball ride, which features rows of seats spinning 40 feet above ground, suddenly collapsed. You can see the terrifying moment as parts of the structure broke apart mid-motion and sent the riders flying.
And it goes really, really fast, and it goes in circles, and it rocks right to left. And I heard a girl scream help, and I look over and I see something fly out.
Rhonda Burgess, a witness, described the horror. She said that the ride snapped and people were thrown at least 20 feet onto the concrete. Among the victims was 18-year-old Tyler Jarrell, a recent Marine Corps recruit. 7 others, aged 14 to 42, were injured, some hit by debris. Albert Kroon, the Dutch manufacturer, revealed that excessive corrosion caused the accident. The corrosion had dangerously thinned the gondola support beam of the 18-year-old ride that caused the catastrophic failure. Despite passing multiple inspections before the fair, the ride's hidden corrosion went unnoticed. This incident made the manufacturer develop new inspection protocols to prevent future tragedies. Number 4. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad ride accident at Disneyland. On September 5, 2003, a normal day at Disneyland's Big Thunder Mountain turned into a horrifying tragedy. Train number 2 derailed in a fatal crash that claimed 1 life and injured 10 others. What was meant to be a joyful ride quickly became a nightmare for everyone involved. As the train rounded a corner, the front wheel assembly failed, due to which the train derailed inside a tunnel. The locomotive car was pushed upward, and the first passenger car collided with it. The ride safety system detected the issues and immediately stopped the ride, but it was too late to prevent the tragedy. Investigations uncovered that maintenance procedures were severely flawed. The mechanics had not properly followed the yellow and green tag system designed to ensure safety. Train number 2 wasn't re-inspected correctly after undergoing maintenance, which directly led to the disaster. In the aftermath, Disneyland had to retrain its staff, implement new operational procedures, and ensure empty test cycles before rides could carry passengers. They also prohibited the practice of one mechanic signing off on another's work. Lawsuits were filed by the victims' families, leading to settlements and Disneyland accepting liability for the accident. Number 5. Hydro Ride accident at Oakwood Theme Park. In April 2005, a 16-year-old girl named Haley Williams died after falling from the Hydro Ride, now called Drenched, at Oakwood Theme Park. How could such a disaster happen?
Ouais. fastest water ride in the country, apparently. Yeah, well, Valhalla was pretty intense, wasn't it? I'm not sure. We're building a water park. Like a little Eden project. No, I'm keeping my poncho actually between my legs. There we go. It's not going to stay up. I need it to not block the camera. I've got water on the camera already. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. It flies down. It flies. Goodbye, poncho. Oh!
The hydro ride, built by Intamin, takes riders up to 100 feet and drops them down at speeds over 80 kilometers an hour. On April 15, 2004, Hayley Williams fell from this ride because her safety restraint wasn't properly secured. CCTV footage showed that the ride staff didn't check her restraint correctly, which caused her fatal fall. After this tragic incident, Hayley's family demanded the ride be demolished. The park closed the ride for the rest of 2004 and made significant safety changes, like replacing lap bars with over-the-shoulder restraints, before reopening it in 2005. In February 2008, the health and safety executive charged Oakwood Theme Park with failing to ensure riders' safety. The park pled guilty and was fined £250,000, a sum that Hayley's family felt was insufficient. To distance itself from the tragedy, the ride was renamed Drenched in 2011. Despite the grim history, Drenched remains a popular attraction and is now operating with enhanced safety standards. Number 6. Joyride accident at Mohali Fair. On September 4, 2022 in Mohali, India, a fun evening at Dussehra Ground Fair turned into a disaster. Around 9 p.m., an 80-foot-high spinning wheel ride malfunctioned, sending at least 10 people, including children and women, crashing down after a cable snapped. Can you imagine the terror? Witnesses said over 15 people were on the ride when it suddenly tilted and fell. With no ambulance on site, a nearby police PCR unit had to rush the injured to the hospital. The victims suffered head and neck injuries, with doctors reporting serious injuries to 5 patients, including 3 women who had neck, abdominal, and back injuries. As the chaos unfolded, bouncers and management staff fled the scene, leaving shocked onlookers to chase after them. People complained about the lack of safety measures and blamed the fair management. Investigations later revealed that the ride was owned by Mukesh Sharma from Jaipur, and authorities are now looking into whether the ride had the proper operational permission. How could such negligence occur at a family event? It was a miracle no lives were lost. Number 7. disco dancer ride accident at Kishkinta Amusement Park. Another tragic accident at a fairground in Chennai, India has left one person dead and at least 9 others injured. The disaster happened on the disco dancer ride, where the management asked park workers to test it. At first, the workers were having fun, cheering, and enjoying the ride. But soon, their joy turned to horror when the ride came off the tracks, throwing them to the ground. A 25-year-old man from West Bengal died in the crash. A 17-year-old boy who survived shared his experience with a local newspaper. He said they didn't want to go on the ride, but were forced to. After 2 rounds, they heard a strange noise and screamed for the ride to stop, but it didn't. This raises an important question. Why were safety rules ignored? After the incident, the park's owner and manager were arrested. This shocking and tragic event shows how negligence can lead to terrible outcomes. Number 8. Inferno roller coaster ride accident at Terramidika theme park. In July 2014, a family vacation in Spain turned tragic at Terramidika theme park in Benidorm. "18-year-old Andre Svensson was thrown from a ride when his safety harness failed, sending him plummeting to the ground. The theme park denied any wrongdoing, but evidence suggested otherwise. What really happened that day? This is the story of the Inferno disaster. Andre was a kind-hearted young man from Iceland. On July 7, 2014, Andre and his family visited Terramidika. While riding the Inferno, a 4th dimension roller coaster, Andre's safety harness suddenly gave way. He fell 15 to 18 meters to the concrete below, suffering fatal injuries. The park insisted the harness couldn't have failed, but police found the safety system did malfunction. Andre's weight also exceeded the ride's limit, a detail never disclosed. Despite the evidence, Terramidika was cleared of negligence in 2017. Number 9. Pendulum ride accident at Kankaria Adventure Park. At Kankaria Adventure Park in Ahmedabad, India, a tragic accident turned a day of fun into a nightmare. It was a sunny day. Families were excited for a good time, and then disaster struck. The arm of a spinning pendulum ride snapped, slamming into the ride structure before crashing to the ground. 2 people lost their lives, and 15 others were seriously hurt. The Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation Fire Department raced to the scene, doing their best to manage the emergency. Medical teams with specialists in pediatrics, orthopedics, and surgery hurried to the hospital. The AMC commissioner commented on the quick response of the fire department, but even with rapid action, the horror of the situation was undeniable. Going to a park for a day of fun and ending up in such a terrifying ordeal left people in shock and disbelief. Now the authorities tried to figure out if the park had the proper licenses for the ride and whether it was maintained correctly. How could something like this happen? This question haunted everyone involved, from the park operators to the families of the victims. Number 10. Pendulum ride accident at Askari Amusement Park. Another pendulum ride accident. On July 15, 2018, a day of fun at Askari Amusement Park in Karachi, Pakistan, turned into a nightmare. A pendulum ride meant to give passengers an adrenaline-pumping swing malfunctioned mid-operation. The breakdown left 25 people injured and tragically took the life of a 12-year-old girl. This raises serious questions about the safety of amusement parks and what can be done to prevent such accidents. While these incidents don't happen every day, they can be devastating, just like the tragedy at Askari Amusement Park. The park was immediately closed for a full technical checkup and has not reopened since then. In Pakistan, the Pakistan Amusement Ride Safety Code is supposed to set safety standards and inspect rides. But after what happened at Askari, many are questioning how effective these regulations really are. Number 11. Perilous plunge ride accident at Knott's Berry Farm. A devastating incident occurred in September 2001 when Lori Mason Larez's visit to Knott's Berry Farm took a tragic turn.
These restraints were meant to keep riders in their seats and provide a level of stability and safety.
Lori decided to ride the Perilous Plunge, a 121-foot tall water attraction. Weighing 292 pounds, she struggled to fasten the seatbelt, but the ride operator didn't check if she was secured properly. What an irresponsible operator that was! As the ride plunged downward, Lori was thrown from her seat and fell onto the ramps below. Her daughter witnessed the horrifying scene as Lori sustained a fractured skull and a severed leg. Sadly, she passed away just an hour later. Knott's Berry Farm was subsequently sued by Lori's family, who accused the park of negligence. They argued that the ride's restraints were not suitable for larger riders. Disturbingly, the ride operator's training was limited to the manufacturer's manual. The park eventually settled the lawsuit without admitting any wrongdoing. The perilous plunge was permanently closed in 2012. Number 12. El Toro ride accident at Six Flags.
Derailed. It didn't reopen again until this year. That all changed last night.
The El Toro ride accident at Six Flags Great Adventure is gonna blow your mind.
Captured this video of ambulances at that park last night. Six Flags told us today.
On June 29, Car 6 of the roller coaster derailed right at the top of the lift hill. It got dragged along the track, making loud screeching noises and even causing smoke. Imagine the shock of the 32 passengers on board. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but they had to be quickly evacuated.
Before the first drop and was dragged through the rest of the circuit.
Just 2 weeks earlier, the park had another incident on the log flume. What is going on with safety there? Rumor has it the derailed car ripped out thousands of track bolts. Can you even imagine that? Inspectors couldn't pinpoint the exact cause, but the ride has been closed for a full review. As a roller coaster fan, this really hits home. We hope El Toro comes back better and safer. Would you ride it after something like this? Number 13. Thunder River ride accident at Dream World theme park. In October 2016, one of the worst accidents at Australia's Dream World theme park took the lives of 4 adults. Cindy Lowe, Kate Goodchild, Luke Dorset, and Ruzi Aragi. They were on the Thunder River Rapids ride when their raft collided with another and flipped over, crushing them. Miraculously, 2 children on the raft survived. The accident was caused by a malfunctioning pump near the end of the ride that resulted in a deadly collision. An inquiry later revealed that the victims died almost instantly. Dreamworld's operator, Ardent Leisure, admitted to breaking safety laws, accepted full responsibility, and acknowledged that they had failed in their duty of care. During the court hearing, it was pointed out that the safety measures needed to prevent the accident weren't complex or costly. The court heavily criticized Ardent Leisure, especially since Dreamworld is a family attraction where safety should be paramount. The ride was demolished, and Dreamworld was closed for 6 weeks. Ardent Leisure has since faced significant financial losses and a class action lawsuit from shareholders who claim they were misled about the park's safety. This heartbreaking event led to stricter safety regulations in Queensland. Number 14. Ferris wheel ride accident at Noida Festival. Let's admit it, at some point we've all feared falling off a Ferris wheel. Unfortunately, for one family in Noida, that fear became a tragic reality. On September 8, 2023, at Som Bazaar Mela, a 55-year-old woman named Usha fell from a Ferris wheel and lost her life. Her daughter-in-law Shalu and her young grandson were also injured in the terrifying incident. As the ride was coming down, something went horribly wrong, and Usha, along with Shalu, was thrown from the Ferris wheel. They were quickly taken to the hospital, but despite efforts to save her, Usha passed away. Shalu received treatment and was in stable condition, while the child suffered minor injuries. The police have since arrested both the fair organizer and the Ferris wheel operator. They have also launched an investigation into what caused the accident. An FIR was filed and legal proceedings were underway. This incident has cast a dark shadow over the fair, which has traditionally been a source of joy for the community, now raising serious concerns about safety. Number 15. Free fall drop tower accident at Icon Park.
Fine to the state of Florida and be barred from operating any rides in the state of Florida.
In 2022, a tragic accident happened on the Orlando Freefall Drop Tower at Icon Park, where a 14-year-old boy, Tyre Sampson, died on what was supposed to be a fun ride.
The riders now facing the ground, the ride dropped. As the ride reached the bottom of the tower and started to slow down, the rider in seat number 1 slipped under the restraint and fell to the ground.
He was visiting from Missouri and couldn't fit into the seat on another ride, so they sent him to the freefall. Did you know he weighed 383 pounds, way over the 300-pound limit? But here's the shocking part. Someone tampered with the safety sensors on his seat. When the ride dropped, Tyre's restraint opened. He tried to hold on, but couldn't. He fell 75 feet to his death. Can you imagine the horror? People watched this happen right in front of them. After this, the ride was shut down for good. This terrible event shows just how important safety checks are. How could something like this happen? Safety should always come first. Number 16. Rolling Thunder ride accident at Six Flags. A tragic incident occurred on Rolling Thunder. Scott Tyler, a 20-year-old park employee from Middletown, New Jersey, lost his life during a test ride. It is hard to believe, but he didn't secure his lap bar and assumed a dangerous riding position. Why would someone take such a risk? The coaster was moving at approximately 35 miles per hour when he was ejected during a high-speed turn. The New Jersey Department of Labor and Industry confirmed that all safety equipment was functional when the ride began. So, what went wrong? Tyler had climbed out of the lap bar, trying to hold on, but tragically, it wasn't enough, and he fell, suffering a fractured skull and multiple injuries. OSHA investigated and fined the park, but the roller coaster was deemed structurally and mechanically safe. Surprisingly, it reopened just 2 days later. Number 17. Pendulum ride accident at Cataplume Amusement Park. A terrifying moment at the Cataplume Amusement Park in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, turned into every visitor's worst nightmare. On June 14, 2019, a woman slipped from her seat on a ride that was doing a 360-degree turn. As the ride swung upwards, she dangerously dangled in the air before falling to the ground. Just as she tried to recover, the ride, which park attendants reportedly tried to slow down, completed its turn and slammed into her, knocking her off her feet. The entire incident was captured on video, which quickly went viral on social media, leaving viewers horrified. The video shows the woman being dragged to the edge of the platform by the momentum of the swinging ride. It is unclear what injuries she sustained. Following the accident, Ciudad Juarez's mayor announced that several rides at the amusement park had been operating without proper permits and have since been shut down. The incident has raised serious concerns about the safety standards at the park, leaving many to question how such a terrifying accident could have happened. Number 18. Go-karting accident at Haryana Amusement Park.
Faster. I'm faster. Woo.
Go-karting has safety rules and a dress code for a reason, but have you ever wondered what could go wrong if those aren't enough? In Haryana, India, a tragic incident just showed us the horrifying answer. A 28-year-old woman, Puneet Kaur, was on holiday with her family, having what seemed like a fun day at an amusement park. She and her husband hopped into a go-kart, but what happened next is every rider's worst nightmare. How could something as simple as loose hair turn deadly? Despite wearing a helmet and tying her hair in a bun, Puneet's hair got tangled in the wheels of the moving cart. The force was so strong that it ripped the scalp from her head. Can you even imagine the horror? Rushed to a hospital, Puneet was declared dead on arrival. The go-kart track at the park in Pinjore has been shut down, and the police are now investigating. But here's the big question. If all safety measures were supposedly in place, how did this happen? This tragic event is a chilling reminder of why safety protocols aren't just guidelines, they are life-saving necessities. Number 19. The Gauntlet Ride Accident at Camelot Theme Park.
Courage to take on this fearsome ride.
Camelot theme park in Lancashire, England, once drew huge crowds with its King Arthur-themed attractions. Among the rides, the Gauntlet, a thrilling roller coaster added in 1989, became a favorite. But on October 22, 2001, tragedy struck. Harry Matthews, a 59-year-old park employee with 25 years of experience, was performing routine maintenance on the Gauntlet. It was a quiet day at the park, and Matthews was tasked with lubricating a section of the track. Unfortunately, safety protocols were ignored, a common occurrence at the park. As Matthews worked, a coaster train barreled down the track, striking him in front of horrified onlookers, including children. Despite the swift response, Matthews didn't survive. The incident revealed a culture of negligence at Camelot, where safety took a back seat to convenience. The park's owner, Prime Resort Limited, was fined £40,000 for safety violations. Matthews' death served as a grim reminder of the importance of workplace safety. Camelot eventually shut down in 2012, marking the end of an era, but the memory of that tragic day lingers. Number 20. Matterhorn bobsled ride accident at Disneyland.
A mountain where people would go tobogganing inside of it and tunnels full of artificial snow. However, in 1959 it was converted into a roller coaster. The upper part of the mountain, which encompassed...
Some of the most harrowing theme park accidents are so gruesome that even experienced medics struggle to cope. In January 1984, a 48-year-old Avon lady named Dolly Regina Young tragically lost her life at Disneyland. On that fateful day, Dolly boarded the Matterhorn bobsled roller coaster. During the ride, she somehow fell onto the tracks. A second train, unable to stop in time, collided with her and led to a horrifying and fatal incident. The roller coaster's automatic system quickly shut down, but it was too late to prevent the tragedy. The screams from both the gondola and the second train alerted workers, who rushed to the scene. The sight was so devastating that one worker had to guide the family away to shield them from the gruesome aftermath. An investigation later revealed that Dolly's seatbelt was found unfastened. This discovery sparked debates over whether the seatbelt malfunctioned or if Dolly herself had unfastened it. While Disneyland insisted all safety belts were properly checked, Dolly's family argued she was too careful to have removed it herself.
Even boasted a tunnel specifically made for the old Skyway gondola ride to pass through. This ride no longer exists. However, an upgraded version of the roller coaster still exists, and it's a big hit.
Surprisingly, just 24 hours after Dolly's death, the Matterhorn bobsled was back in operation. By February 1984, her family had filed a $5 million wrongful death lawsuit against Disney. The case lingered until 1988, when Disneyland settled out of court for an undisclosed sum. Number 21. Flight Commander ride accident at Kings Island. Flight Commander was the fourth of its kind, following similar attraction at parks like Knott's Berry Farm and King's Dominion. This unique ride featured a circular loading platform with riders queuing in a covered structure before ascending a spiral staircase to board individual capsules. But on June 9, 1991, tragedy struck at Kings Island when 32-year-old Candy Taylor was ejected from the ride around 9:25 p.m. Shockingly, this was the second major incident at the park that day. Taylor, along with 2 others from an earlier accident, lost her life. A 6-week investigation revealed multiple factors that led to the accident. Taylor had a blood alcohol level of 0.30%, but the lack of a seat divider, the fact that she was riding alone, and the adjacent empty restraint not being locked were all pinpointed as contributing causes. Taylor's family settled with Kings Island for $336,500 in December 1992 and later sued the manufacturer, Intamin, for $8.8 million. Flight Commander reopened in 1992 with new safety features, but was eventually removed in 1995 due to declining popularity. It found a new home at Flamingo Land in the UK, where it operated until 2004. Number 22. Derby Racer Ride Accident at Revere Beach,
Massachusetts. The first coaster was built in 1911.
Derby Racer was the name given to 2 infamous wooden roller coasters at Revere Beach in Massachusetts, both with a shocking history. Constructed in 1911, the first Derby Racer came with a price tag of $140,000 and featured side-by-side tracks where 2 trains could race each other. It sounds thrilling, but the reality was far more chilling.
Massachusetts. The first coaster was built in 1911.
Only a few weeks after the ride's grand opening, a young man was thrown from the coaster and suffered life-threatening injuries. 6 years later, another tragic incident occurred when a man was hurled in front of a train and lost his life.
The name was built in 1937 and demolished.
Unfortunately, the accidents didn't end there. In 1923, a couple sustained severe injuries, and in 1929, another rider was thrown from a train, leading to a court case in 1935. The original coaster was demolished in 1936. In its place, a second Derby Racer was constructed in 1937, but it too had a brief existence and was demolished in 1948. Would you have been brave enough to ride it? Number 23. Rat roller coaster accident at Luton Castle Park. On July 15, 2007, what should have been a normal day at Luton Castle Park in Scotland ended in tragedy. Mark Blackwood, a ride operator on his first day, lost his life while working on the Rat roller coaster. The Rat was a wild mouse-type coaster known for its sharp turns and sudden drops, thrilling visitors since 2005. But on that day, disaster struck when a car got stuck on the track. Mark, unsure of what to do, climbed onto the track to push the car while the ride was still running. As he did, he slipped, and the car began to move, dragging him along. Despite desperate attempts to save him, Mark fell 80 feet to the ground in front of horrified park visitors. He was rushed to the hospital, but tragically didn't survive. The investigation revealed that Mark had received minimal training, which raised questions about the park's safety standards. Although the park was cleared of any wrongdoing in court, the incident cast a long shadow. Just 3 years later, Loudon Castle Park closed for good, its once thriving attractions left to decay. Number 24. Fujin Raijin 2 Ride Accident at Expo Land.
That would be the first deadly amusement ride accident in Japanese history.
Expo Land in Osaka, Japan was a prime destination for thrill seekers in the early 90s. However, everything changed on May 5, 2007, when a tragic accident on the Fujin Raijin 2 roller coaster occurred.
Coaster manufactured by Japanese company Togo. The ride was well liked by the public after its opening, with it quickly becoming one of the most popular rides at the park.
As the ride sped through its second valley, the left wheel axle on the second car broke, causing the car to tilt and crash into a nearby handrail. This terrifying incident claimed the life of 19-year-old Yoshina Kagara and left another rider with serious injuries, while 18 others sustained minor injuries.
2. The park found little success as most of the Japanese public was now upset with the park. Expo Land closed forever in December of 2007 and was demolished. Today, the Japanese amusement industry is still feeling the effects of this accident. Much of the public is not willing to visit amusement parks due to this accident, and many of the smaller parks have now closed due to the stricter inspection requirements. The parks that do remain are safer than ever.
Investigations uncovered shocking negligence. The coaster's wheels had never been replaced, and glue was used to secure the axles. After years of stress, the axle couldn't hold up. This disaster led to urgent inspections across Japan and revealed that 40% of roller coasters hadn't undergone proper safety checks. By December 2007, Expo Land had permanently closed due to a significant drop in visitors. Number 25. Superman Tower of Power Ride Accident at Kentucky Kingdom. And for the final video today, let's talk about a truly shocking and tragic incident at the Kentucky Kingdom that you won't believe. Imagine going out for a fun day at the park, only to have it turn into a nightmare. That is exactly what happened to 13-year-old Caitlin Lassiter on June 21, 2007. She and her friends were excited to ride the Superman Tower of Power, but as they were lifted into the air, something went horribly wrong. Can you even imagine? Cables snapped out of nowhere, hit Caitlin and wrapped around her body. The horror didn't end there. When the ride dropped, a cable wound around her legs, cutting both of her feet off. How could something like this even happen? Emergency teams rushed her to the hospital, where doctors managed to reattach one foot, but the other was too badly damaged. An investigation later revealed that the ride's cables had been neglected, a tragedy that could have been completely avoided. Despite everything, Caitlin's resilience is nothing short of inspiring. She learned to walk again with a prosthetic leg and has become a powerful advocate for better safety standards at amusement parks. What do you think? Could this have been prevented with better maintenance? When you head to an amusement park, the last thing on your mind is that a fun day could turn tragic. Amusement parks are built to deliver excitement, not disaster. But as these devastating amusement park accidents have shown, tragedy can strike when you least expect it. Next time you're at an amusement park, remember these stories. Take a moment to appreciate the engineering and safety measures that make those thrills safe. And remember, safety isn't just up to the park, it's your responsibility too. always follow the rules and stay alert. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.